Jets, Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another Jets Ward live stream. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys tonight. There's been a lot of things going on in the NFL. Still a ton of free agents still available. So big name free agents still available. A lot of teams have been making moves. Players have been standing out from OTAs and mini camps, training camps right around the corner. There is a lot of stuff we could talk about. But before we get into the live stream tonight and what I've got planned for you, just if you have been here before, thank you so much for always coming back. You make these videos so much fun, and I love having you guys here. Another thing, too, if you are new here, welcome. You know I always love having you guys here in the Jets Ward. And no matter if you're a Jets fan or a fan of another team or just a casual NFL fan, you know this is a safe space for you. You are always welcome here, no matter what. And guys, we are going to keep the tradition going of doing power rankings in these live streams. But make sure when you come in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps out so much. We've reached 2,000 subscribers, which is amazing. When I first created this channel, I never thought that would have been that great. I was very nervous when I made it. Getting up in public and doing something like this is not my forte. Granted, I just want to do something out of my comfort zone. And I appreciate how much support and love I've been getting from you guys. The Jets Ward community is the best community on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, any social platform. The Jets Ward community is, in fact, the best, and I appreciate you guys. But guys, like I've been saying, there have been some fun stuff going on. People have been coming out recently with the Jets. There was a report that they're one of the most improved teams of the offseason. And that was interesting to me because they didn't make that big of moves. You could argue Justin Fields was the biggest signing that we had. New quarterback, hired AG as the head coach, Darren Muji as GM, Steve Wilks as defensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrand as offensive coordinator, Chris Banjo as special teams coordinator, which I really liked. But we brought in Justin Fields as the new quarterback and named him quarterback number one already with no competition, which I think shows a lot of confidence in him. He's somebody who I've liked for a long time and still has a ton of upside. But we also have signed Brandon Stevens, cornerback from the Ravens, who didn't really show a lot. His first season there, he showed some promise. Last year was a disaster for him, had a really bad season, and Ravens fans were kind of excited to see him go. So the Jets bring him over, hoping that a new scheme, a new system can help him become the player that he wants to be, and I'm hoping so too. But we bring Andre Sisco in from the Jaguars. We re-signed Jamie and Sherwood, signed Derek Nottie, Byron Cowart. There's a lot of players that we brought in, and then the draft came around, and we bolstered our offensive line by drafting right tackle Armand Membu. Second round took Mason Taylor, tight end. And then we got A.Z. Thomas, who was one of the better cornerbacks in this draft. Then we have Malachi Moore, Arian Smith, Francisco Mauigoa, Tyler Barron. We've been adding these pieces that complement each other. And the biggest thing, we see a culture shift with the New York Jets at this point. We see them becoming a team and not just a bunch of players like, let's be honest, it seemed like we had last year. We had all the names. We were, Super Bowl bound. We had all the names. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson. I have all these players, but it wasn't a team. Robert Saleh struggled bringing the Jets players together. There was never any accountability. I think that is honestly changing with this new regime, and I'm excited to see it. And I already said, some analysts have already argued that the Jets have become the most improved team in the offseason, and they really didn't do much. You don't have to win the offseason every single year. The Jets are known to be the offseason champions. Well, guess what? Honestly, I think not moving in silence like we've been doing has been doing much better than going after the big name players and just throwing boatloads of money at them. And then they come over here and it's a dud. So I'm happy with the Jets' slow moves and moving in silence and not going after the big name players. I've been happy with that. And going into it as well, one of the strengths of this team and one former player, Teron Armstead, who recently retired from the Miami Dolphins, came out and commented about the Jets, saying that he really likes their running back group. Having Breece Hall, who can still be a stud in this league, who had a down year last year, but can still be really good. Braylon Allen, who showed flashes last year. Isaiah Davis, who showed flashes last year as well. And then we signed undrafted free agent Donovan Edwards as well. That's a great running back room. Yeah, we do have some needs. Tight end, we could bring in a veteran. We've signed Stone Smart, and we still got Jeremy Ruckert. But having a veteran in that locker room, in the tight end room, could be beneficial. Receiver, we brought in Tyler Johnson, who's been looking good. Josh Reynolds, who's been looking good. We still have Alan Lazard. We have Garrett Wilson, who's our number one. We have Arian Smith, Malachi Corley, Jamal Pritchett, Quentin Skinner. We have all of these players, but a solid number two option is something that a lot of people say we're missing on. Could we use another safety in the safety room? Tony Adams, I don't think ends up on this team. So there's a lot of things that we could still use. Another outside linebacker as well, because Jamin Davis doesn't give me the confidence in a starting linebacker. I love Jamien Sherwood and I love Quincy Williams, but you need another outside linebacker, a weak side linebacker, and I think there are still some options out in free agency that could be really, really good. And the defensive line. We could use another edge rusher. We could use another defensive tackle. I think we could do a lot of things that could benefit this team. But overall, I've been happy with what we've been doing for the offseason. Now, getting into this too. Speaking of defensive ends, I've been going through, and you guys have known I've been doing these power rankings on Saturday nights now for a while now. I started out with the QBs. I've done power rankings of running backs. I've done power rankings of tight ends, power rankings of defensive tackles, and now I'm going to be doing defensive ends. Now, to preface this, a lot of players that I put on my defensive tackle list, some could argue, well, they're more of defensive ends. They're more of edge rushers or anything like that. Some people think they might be more defensive ends. Some defensive ends that I have on tonight, you could argue could be defensive tackles based on their weight and power and size. What I've done is I've researched the teams. I've looked at their depth charts, of current depth charts that they've had. I've looked at the player profile, looking at that. Hell, I go into some players that you might think they are linebackers or defensive tackles. And on the depth chart, they're the starting D end for these teams. So if there's players that I miss, make sure you comment. I love seeing your guys' comments, and I love seeing all your guys' reactions. I love hearing from you guys. I always love seeing what you guys have to say as well. And getting into it, I'm really, really excited because the first team that we are going to talk about, number 32 on our starting DNs power rankings, and I could have gone DN units. I just wanted to pick the best one from the team. And all of these players are really good players. They're solid players, solid options. I'm just going based on the skill level and how I think that player is, and based on numbers that we see last year. So some players you might see have more sacks, but be higher on the list than some that have less numbers, but there's reasons for it, and I'll get into it. So getting into the first one. The first player that I got is Chargers defensive end starter Deshaun Hand. He played for the Miami Dolphins last year. He's 29 years old. He's 6'3", 302 pounds. Been in the league for 6 years to this point. Played in all 17 games for the Dolphins last year. Had a total of 31 tackles, 20 solo tackles, and 1 sack. He's a solid run defender, but when it comes to the pass rush ability, it's not really there. He's still young, so 29 years old. He's still on the younger side, but he's more of a run defender. If he can boost up a pass rush to help out the Chargers, who, let's be honest, Joey Bosa was their number one last year. He's gone. He's on the Bills now, and he's hurt. He's coming into a unit that didn't really have a great amount of pass rush. They had Poona Ford as defensive tackle last year, but he was more of a run stuffer anyway. So Deshaun Hand comes over here and is their starting edge. I think it's going to be tough. I think he's more of a better run defender, and you can bounce him on the inside and outside as well. But if he can build up a pass rush, then I think, honestly, he could become something special. But for right now, he's my number 32 ranked defensive end in this list. And for the 31 people that are in here, thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure you hit the like button in here and comment down below. Hit the like button, subscribe. I love having you guys here. Thank you so much for joining me. We just got started on our defensive ends power rankings. And right now, Deshaun Hand is my number 32 ranked defensive end from the Los Angeles Chargers. And getting into number 31, we go to the Commanders. I got Dorrance Armstrong. He's 28 years old. He's 6'4", 255 pounds. He's been in the league for 7 years to this point. Played in 16 games last year. Had a total of 39 tackles, 20 solo tackles, and 5 sacks. Again, he's starting to get better and better, but this was more of his breakout year. This was when we started to hear more about him. But again, look at the players that they had on the Commanders' defense. They had Jonathan Allen last year, who, again, was hurt, but he still was a dominant force. He's still a good player. And that defense was solid for the Commanders last year. One thing that could have let him down was the passing game. The cornerbacks weren't the best, and they tried to remedy that by trading for the number 1 cornerback from the Saints last year. When he came over, he was a disaster, and his name's slipping my mind right now, but he was really bad when he came from the Saints. So Dorrance Armstrong, I think he's still a good young player. Still has some upside. I know he's 28 years old, but I think there's a lot that he can do. I think he's, again, better in the run defense, but if he can maneuver and get a stronger pass rush, more agile, can get more bend, I think he could become something very, very special for the Commanders. But for right now, he's my number 31 ranked D end out of these teams. Okay? So continuing on, we get to number 30. And I got Nnamdi Madubuike from the Ravens. Now, he's another one. 27 years old, 6'3", 305 pounds, 5 years experience, 17 games played last year, 43 total tackles, 21 solo tackles, 6.5 sacks. He's getting better and better. He had a breakout season last year for the Ravens, but again, that Ravens defense was not great last year. And the run game did get beat up a decent amount, and which hurt the passing game as well. If it wasn't for the offense that they had, the Ravens could have been struggling last year because that defense was not great. All right, they have pieces, but Nnamdi Madubuike was one of the better ones on that defensive line. But again, he can be bumped into a defensive tackle. He can be a defensive end. Honestly, I see him better as a defensive tackle. I think the quickness that he has could be beneficial to go up against some of those slower guards, especially getting an interior pass rush for the Ravens could be very beneficial. Not much in the run game, though, but if he can get a little top heavy, get a little stronger, I think he can become very, very good. And you look at the 6.5 sacks, that was on a team that didn't really have that great of pass rushers last year. And that sucks because they have a solid linebacking core as well with Roquan Smith and everybody that they got there. I think the defensive line needs to bolster up a little bit more, and I think Nnamdi could do something really, really good for them and take another step forward next year. Getting them to number 29. And this is a shocking one because this guy's been a big name in the NFL for a long time. When he was with Washington, got traded to Chicago. But I never think he ended up giving us his full potential. When he was drafted, he was one of the better edge rushers coming out. And he's had some good seasons. But there were seasons where he was hurt as well. Then he got traded to the Bears, and they gave up a decent amount for him. They gave up some good picks for him. But I got Montez Sweat at number 29. He's 28 years old. He's 6'6", 262. D-end for 7 years in the league now. Played in 16 games last year. Had a 32 total tackles, 18 solo tackles, 5.5 sacks. Not much in the pass or the run defense. He doesn't give you much in the run defense. He's a big guy, lengthy guy, has good bend coming off the edge, but he hasn't lived up to the expectations when Washington drafted him. And I think that the Washington football team was the team that drafted him before they became the Commanders. I could be wrong on that, but I think there's still so much he could do with that size and speed that he has coming off the edge. His numbers should be a lot better, in my opinion. But he's getting up there in age now. He's 28. If he goes against powerful and more athletic tackles, he struggles. he beats up on the lesser tackles, but really struggles against some average to above average play. So, because there are games where he'll show up and he'll get a sack and a half to 2 sacks a game, and then there are games where you don't even see him on the field. You think he's on the sideline the whole time. So Montez Sweat's an interesting one. I think he could do better, but for right now, based on what I saw last year from him in that Chicago Bears defense, I have him at 29. And let me know what you guys think too. Comment down below. I would love to hear what you guys are saying too. We have 35 people in here right now, and I love you all. Make sure you are hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Comment down below. I got the live chat going up, and I don't know where my phone is. I was going to check to see how the live chat's going there. And on Facebook as well. I'm also live streaming on Facebook and on X as well if you wanted to follow me on those as well. But getting into it even more, we are going to get to number 28, and that is Kenneth Grant. Yes, guys, Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle from Michigan on the Miami Dolphins depth chart, is a defensive end. And that shocked me because I was looking at this and I saw Benito Jones as their starting defensive tackle. I think Kenneth Grant should be the starting defensive tackle on that team. He's got great size. He's only 21 years old. He was a first-round pick by the Miami Dolphins this year. I love him as a player. He was picked 13. I thought he went way too high. I think there was better players that could have gone above him. But honestly, I think he's going to be a great player in this league. And I was really mad that Miami ended up getting him. He's 6'3", 331 pounds. He is a rookie from Michigan, was the round 1 pick, 13 pick from the Dolphins. But again, I don't see him as a defensive end. And if that's where he plays, where it's looking like he's going to play on the depth chart for the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to be a little bit concerned because he doesn't have great speed. He has a lot of power, which is great, but I think it's better power utilized in the middle of a defensive line rather than on the edge. And who knows? He could slim down and get a little bit quicker and become like a JFM type of player, but I doubt that. I think his strength is being in the middle of that defense to clog up the A-gaps. And I think that's, if they move to a forefront and have him and Benito Jones in the front, I think that would be more beneficial for them. But right now, it says that they're in a 3 front. So Kenneth Grant, I think he could struggle on the defensive end. I think being a defensive tackle might benefit him a lot more going into it. But right now, Kenneth Grant, I love the player, don't love the position that he's at. He's going to be my 28th ranked player. Then we get into a veteran that has been around forever and has been the heartbeat of that Saints defense, just like Demario Davis, who's been there forever as well. Cameron Jordan. And a lot of Saints fans might not be happy with me having him this high at 27. But the reason I say that, he is 35 years old, and his numbers have been declining every year. Granted, he's durable. He played in all 17 games last year, and he's a leader in that locker room and a leader on that defense. But he's 35. He's not the same player that he used to be. He doesn't have that quick burst. He doesn't have the strength that he used to have. He doesn't solidify the edge anymore like he used to. He's not a big concern to a lot of teams. He had 34 total tackles, 18 solo tackles, and 4 sacks. He can still give you something, maybe as more of a rotational pass rusher at the end. But I love the player. I have him at 27 because I have a little bit more confidence than the other guys. But it hurts me to put him here because I do really like him as a person and as a player. But I just think 35 years old, he's not getting any younger. It's a little rougher for him. I think he's going to struggle this year with the New Orleans Saints, and I hate to say that because he's such a good person, a good player, leader in that locker room too. But right now, Cameron Jordan is number 27. Number 26, and Colts fans might not like this, but it's Kwity Paye, 26 years old, 6'3", 265 pounds. It says D tackle. He's a D end. He's been in the league for 4 years now. Played in 15 games last year, had 41 tackles, 29 solo, 8 sacks. Those numbers are getting better and better. But there are times where you watch the Colts and he gets blown off the ball. Like, he plays high, and he's a very strong person and has better speed than a lot of people give him credit for. but there are times where his pad level is high and he can get blown off the ball. So as a pass rusher, he's solid. He's really, really good. Has a good spin move, has a good power rush move. As a run defender, he could improve a little bit, but I love the age. He's still a young player, has only 4 years experience, and he's looked at as a focal point in that Colts defense. So I'm going to hold out hope for Kwity Paye, but I still think he needs to improve in the run game a tad more to help improve that pass rush game as well, to make him a two-dimensional player. So Kwity Paye, right now, 26 on my power rankings. 25, I got Greg Rousseau. Similar, very athletic player. He's a very athletic player, but he hasn't lived up to the hype that I think the Bills were hoping for and Bills fans were hoping for. He's a solid player. It's the same thing with Ed Oliver over there. They have good players, but they're not elite. And Greg Rousseau has been getting better and better as the years have gone on. He's only 25 years old, but he's the size that he has. He should be terrorizing this league. Had played in 16 games last year, had 36 solo tackles, 53 total tackles, 8 sacks. So he's getting better. But again, with the run defense, it's not great for him. He's a pass rushing nightmare who could be utilized as a 3-down guy who gets switched out for AJ Epinesa, who's a better pass defender or a run stuffer than he is. But I like Greg Rousseau. I think he's going to get better and better. These are my off-season power rankings, so these could definitely change as the year goes on. But for right now, Greg Rousseau, I think I have to keep him at 25. His sack numbers are great. I think he could become a 10-sack person, but he needs, again, to improve in the run defense to help him out as well. Now, getting into the next one. Number 24, I got George Karlaftis. He is 24 years old, 6'4", 263 pounds. Been in the league for 3 years right now. 16 games played, 35 total tackles, 21 solo tackles, 8 sacks. Another one overshadowed by the rest of the players on that line, meaning Chris Jones. Chris Jones is a monster on that defensive line, and George Karlaftis had a solid year, and he's still a young guy, so he has a ton of upside. He's got a lot of power, and you could, with the strength that he has too, not with the size, like he's 6'4", 263. You'd want him to be heavier as an interior guy, but he can move into the interior next to Chris Jones and cause some disruptions. But I do see him as better as an outside guy. Is solid in the run defense, and you can see that his sack numbers are getting better and better as he's getting in the league. He is known for his power, not his speed coming off the end because he's not the quickest guy, but he is a typical power rusher who has a long, strong motion when he's trying to get in there. And he can cause quarterbacks a fright. He can be really, really rough on these guys. But for right now, George Karlaftis, my number 24 ranked the end. Then we get into this guy. And this guy, Eagles fans might argue a lot that I have him back here. He's a new Patriots defensive end, and that's Milton Williams. He's another one I thought was a defensive tackle for the Eagles last year and stepped up in a lot of critical moments. But again, you didn't really hear much about him until like the end of the year. And that's what I felt for me. He's 26 years old. He's 6'3", 260 pounds. Been in the league for 4 years. Played in all 17 games last year. Super Bowl champion. He had 24 total tackles, 11 solo tackles, and 5 sacks. Now, those numbers don't pop up the page, but what I do like about him is he came in clutch moments, in crunch time. Super Bowl, he was amazing. If you guys watched the Super Bowl, he did a great job as a run defender and getting to the quarterback, getting in Patrick Mahomes' face. He had 5 sacks last year. Patriots are going to use him as a D-end, but he's another one that can bounce inside as well. I think he needs to improve on his pass rush ability. He needs to get quicker off the edge and get a little bit more bend. But overall, I think he's a solid player, and I'm interested to see how much better Milton Williams gets, especially in that Patriots defense where he's going to be coached under Mike Vrabel. So I think he's going to get better and better, in my opinion. But right now, Milton Williams is my number 23 defensive end. Getting to the next one, this guy's another one who I really like. Injuries have destroyed this guy's career so far. Derek Brown, again, a guy who I can see as a defensive tackle. Look at that size, 6'5", 320. You can play him on the inside where I think he'd be better, but right now in the Carolina Panthers depth chart, he is a D end for some reason. He's been in the league for 5 years, played in one game last year because he had a very, very serious knee injury, which as a bigger guy, that's going to be really tough to come back from. So Derek Brown, I love the player. I love seeing him on the field, but that injury is going to be devastating to come back from, and I really hope he can. But he had 3 total tackles last year, 1 solo tackle, and 0 sacks. I'm banking. The reason I have him here and higher than some of the other guys, the reason I do that is I'm banking that he comes back strong as one of the people that you can trust on that Carolina Panthers defense. I love his talent. I love his ability. He's much faster than what his shot size shows, and he's got great run stuffing ability and a solid pass rush too. I honestly think Derek Brown is a great player. The injury derailed him, but like I said on the defensive tackles, I had Christian Wilkins ranked really high as a defensive tackle because of the talent and what he's shown before in the league. I really like Derek Brown as well, and I think his better place is defensive tackle on the interior, but right now he's a defensive end, and I think he's going to come back strong. I think he can play up to the caliber that he did previous years. And continuing on, I love this player, Kalijah Cansey. He's 24 years old, 6 foot, 280 pounds, been in the league for 2 years, played in 12 games last year, had a total of 28 tackles, 22 solo, 7.5 sacks. He's a very underrated guy, in my opinion. I love Cansey. I loved him coming out of college. I was happy the Bucks got him because they needed some pass rush on that ability, on that defense. And he's known as a quicker DT, DN combo who can play both inside and outside. He's better as a pass rushing candidate. He's very fast, very quick for his size. He needs to get better in the run defense, and you can see by those numbers, he could get blown off the ball as well, but his pass rush is just so good, and I think it's going to get better and better. If they've done wonders, Todd Bowles has done wonders with that defensive staff with Vita Vea, getting him to double-digit sacks this past year. I think they could do the same with Kalijah Cansey, who's a much younger player and is a dog. He's a bulldog out there and is such a good player and a great character player as well. If he stays healthy, those numbers will definitely go up. But getting into number 20, I got Jonathan Allen. And I said I really like Jonathan Allen. I really do. But again, injuries are a problem for him as well. He struggles to stay healthy. Now he's going to a different defensive system in the Vikings, which I think could be very, very good. But he's going to need to prove that he can do it really by himself, because that defensive line group for the Vikings is not the strongest, in my opinion. So Jonathan Allen's got to show that he can be a stud on that defensive line and go back to putting up double-digit sacks that I know he can do. But again, he's been in the league for 8 years. He's getting older, coming off an injury, only played in 18 games last year, had 19 total tackles, 16 solo, 3 sacks. For what he played in, okay numbers, but he's much better than that. He has much better ability than that and could do so much more. But for right now, I have Jonathan Allen as my number 20th ranked defensive end. Then I get into another player who I think is going to be a monster in this league, but I need him to show me more. That is Braden Fisk, 25 years old, 6'4", 291 pounds, been in the league for 1 year for the Rams, played in 17 games last year, had 44 total tackles, 20 solo tackles, and 8.5 sacks. The kid's just going to get better and better. And making this defensive ends list, like honestly, guys, when I tell you, it was probably one of the most difficult things a sports fan can do. And the reasoning is because there's so many good defensive ends, number one defensive ends in this league. And I'm picking from right side, left side, it don't matter. It's tough seeing a player like Braden Fisk who can dominate games and having him ranked at number 19, because I think there's just so much talent at this position. These are one of my favorite positions to look at, because I did play defensive end in high school. Doesn't show it really because I'm not the tallest guy, but I loved watching these players. Like when Jadeveon Clowney was coming out from South Carolina in the draft that he came out, his play was just so amazing. I tried to watch every single game that he played. Braden Fisk was another one who's solid, who came out of college and was underrated in my opinion, got drafted in later rounds, and I think he could be a monster. I think he's going to get better and better. I think he's like an old school type of player too, tough, will get in your face as well, and I just like his game. But right now, show me more. Show me that you can continue with this uptick in numbers and get better and better as the years go on. So right now, I have him at ranked number 19. Then I got a favorite player of mine, former Jet, former Giant, now Seahawk, Leonard Williams. He is 31 years old. He's 6'5", 310, defensive end from the Seattle Seahawks, has been in the league for 11 years, played in 16 games last year, 64 total tackles, 37 solo tackles, and 11 sacks. Also had a pick 6, I believe, against the Jets. If I remember really, I try to block that out from my memory because we were on the goal line, and it was just an awful pass right to Leonard Williams, and he torched us. He gave the Jets heck during that game. But I love Leonard Williams, the player. I think he's just gotten better with age. He was always a solid run defender, but now the sack numbers, since getting to the Giants, honestly, they did wonders with him. When Wink Martindale was their defensive coordinator over there. But honestly, Leonard Williams has just gotten better and better with age, and his sack numbers are finally starting to come around. He's a double-digit sack guy, has been doing that for a couple years now. Just an overall awesome player, and I love Leonard Williams. I think he is so good, honestly. I think he's just going to get better and better. But right now, I have him ranked number 18. Then we get into this next guy, and people might be upset with this one. It's new Falcons edge rusher Leonard Floyd. He's 32 years old, 6'3", 240 pounds, 9 years experience, played in 17 games last year for the Niners, had 42 total tackles, 25 solo, and 8.5 sacks. Again, I like Leonard Floyd. Getting better with age, it seems. Can he continue to get better and better? I don't know. Honestly, I think he's going to still be a good player, but I think those numbers are going to come down a little bit. The Falcons' run defense, especially last year, was not the best. The pass defense could be okay again. They have some pieces back there. They lost Justin Simmons this offseason, but he had a down year for them. So, honestly, I think he could still be good. Don't know if he puts up 8.5 sacks again. He might be like a 6.5 sack player next year. I think he's going down a little bit. But again, still really good player. Solid player. Ranked number 17 on my list. Then we get into this next guy. Good player for the Eagles. Super Bowl champion as well. Arizona Cardinals new defensive end Josh Sweat. He's 28 years old, 6'5", 265 pounds, 7 years experience, played in 16 games last year, 41 total tackles, 27 solo, 8 sacks. I like Josh Sweat. I think he needs to still get better in the run defense because his pass rush ability has gotten better and better as time has gone on. He's been getting quicker moves, better placement with his hands as well, and just getting better bend to get around those bigger tackles, those slower tackles. Josh Sweat, I think, is going to do great things for the Cardinals defense. I think he's going to be a focal point now because I don't think the Cardinals had that great of pass rushers last year. Now they have him and Walter Nolan III, who I think could be really good for them as well. But I think he's going to be a focal point on this defense where offensive coordinators are going to focus on this guy to make sure that he doesn't give quarterbacks heck. So right now, Josh Sweat is ranked number 16 on my power rankings. And before we get into number 15, guys, make sure you comment. I would love to see your comments real on here to see what you guys are saying, what you guys think. I honestly love anytime you guys comment. It makes it so much fun. So please comment. If you're coming in, and I have 36 people, it's gone up to at least 39 I've seen. For those that are in here, please, when you come in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check it out. I'm glad you guys are here. I always do stream Saturday nights at 9 o'clock until around 10:30, depending on how long it takes me to get through my power rankings. So I love you guys being here, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. Comment down below. Let me see what you guys say about this list too. Do you hating it so far? Are you liking it? Let me know what you guys think. Is there anybody I'm missing that you think I should have on this list or should have had on this list by now to this point? Let me know down in the comments or in the comment section. But the next guy, number 15, we are getting into Zach Allen, a very underrated and underappreciated player, in my opinion. He's 27 years old. He's 6'5", 285 pounds, has been in the league for 6 years, Played in 16 games last year, had a total of 61 total tackles, 32 solo, and 8.5 sacks. This was his breakout year, in my opinion. He's always been a good run defender on the edge. He's a bigger guy, a stronger guy, but he really, really found himself as a pass rusher this year, and I think it helps having a Bonito and a JFM there as well, and now you've improved your defense by getting Drake Greenlaw and Halafua Tufanga, I believe his name is. So Zach Allen, I think, is going to have a better year. I think those sack numbers can definitely go up. I think he might take a jump that Trey Hendrickson took when he went to the Bengals, honestly, to being one of the top 3 edge rushers in football. Spoiler alert. So Zach Allen, I think, could have a breakout year again. I think those numbers can get better and better. It really depends on him and the work ethic that he's going to put in. And if he can stay healthy for a whole season. I only know he missed 1 game, but still, those numbers could be improved a little bit. But right now, getting into number 14, I got Jalen Carter, and a lot of people are probably going to boo. Jalen Carter, yes, is ranked as a defensive end on this roster. And I said it in my defensive tackles comments. I think I would have thought he would be a defensive tackle as well based on his size, 6'3", 314. But right now on the depth chart for the Eagles, he is ranked as a defensive end. And a lot of players or a lot of fans might be like, this is crazy. His talent is unbelievable. And I agree. And that's why it makes it so hard to say that I'm putting him here, because of just how great the talent is ahead of him, in my opinion. But Jalen Carter is a monstrous man. He's a very good player. The numbers don't show that, though. He played in 16 games last year, has only been in the league for 2 years, had 42 total tackles, 25 solo tackles, and 4.5 sacks. It's giving me Jadeveon Clowney vibes, and I'm going to tell you why. Was a player that came out of college very dominant, had great sack numbers, good run defense numbers, has come to the league and has never been able to show those sack numbers again that he had when he was in college. I understand that Jalen Carter is only 2 years in, and those numbers could get better and better. The problem is, his run defense is really good, but I expect more from that pass rush ability. Those power moves that he has, how he could just move people out of the way. And having Jordan Davis on that line too should be making it easier, because Jordan Davis takes up 2 people already as a big man. So honestly, I think Jalen Carter is an amazing player. I want to see him do more. 4.5 sacks, not good enough if you're going to be a premier edge rusher. And I understand he can be bumped to defensive tackle, where I think he could be better as well. But for right now, he's a defensive end, and I think he's ranked number 14, even though his talent is really, really good. But just for position, I don't think he's the best at his position. Then we get into number 13, and this is Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary is an interesting player because he's 27 years old. He's been in the league for 6 years. Feels like he's been in the league a lot longer, in my opinion. He's been played in 17 games last year. Total tackles 47, 26 solo tackles, and had 7.5 sacks last year. Rashawn Gary, I mentioned, is an interesting one. And the reason he is an interesting one is he didn't really have the best rookie year. He seemed overshadowed by a lot of players. Even the next year, he didn't put up the best numbers. He was showing flashes. But now he's been consistently a monster in backfields for the Green Bay Packers. He is stepping up as a premier edge rusher. He played linebacker as well, but I think he's better suited as a pass rushing edge rusher, defensive end. And I really like Rashawn Gary. I think his talent could make him a little bit better. I think he could get better. I think those numbers can go up. I think the Packers defense is still underrated. I think they're pretty good, especially having Kenny Clark and a couple other pieces on that defensive line. But Rashawn Gary right now is my ranked number 13 guy. Next, we get into one of my favorites as well. Pittsburgh Steeler favorite, longtime player, Cameron Hayward. I love Cameron Hayward. He's a leader on that defense. He's a locker room leader. When he speaks, people listen, and he's not afraid to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And he's not afraid to get on you. If you're making mistakes, he's going to get on you. If he doesn't see you as playing, doing everything you can for the Steeler way, he's going to get on you. He is a diehard Steeler through and through. So with Cameron Hayward, he's 36 years old. He's on the older side. 6'5", 295 pounds. Been in the league for 14 years. Played in 17 games last year. Very durable player. 71 total tackles, 35 solo, 8 sacks. For a guy that is, people will argue, TJ Watt. TJ Watt is, you could argue, edge rusher, DN. I consider him a linebacker. He does a lot of stuff good for linebackers, and he's not that awful in coverage. Other issues are he's hurt every season, and he's holding out right now for Pittsburgh. I understand he's predicted to get a monster contract from them, but he was hurt a lot last year, and he's been hurt a lot in his career. And I don't want that to take away from the talent that he is, because he is a monster. But again, a key figure on that defense. When Watt goes down, who do you look to? Cameron Hayward. Even when TJ Watt's on the field, players look to Cameron Hayward as that leader, that mouthpiece for them, that intimidating figure. Cameron Hayward, I think, is so underrated, and I think needs to get more loved by a lot of fans, not just Pittsburgh fans. I think this guy's a great, great player, and I think he's going to retire a Steeler. I don't think they let him go at all for what he's done for them in his career. But he's my number 12 ranked D-end. Then we get into this one. Titans fans rejoice. You have an amazing player on defense in Jeffrey Simmons. He is a solid player. I was really scared that he was going to get traded to the Patriots because Vrabel loved having Jeffrey Simmons, and there was a lot of rumors that Vrabel might try to go for his old guys, Jeffrey Simmons, A.J. Brown. There were a lot of scary things like that, so I'm glad he's still a Titan. Definitely could still get traded. You never know if they wanted to save up cap, if they're going into a rebuild. They just drafted a new quarterback. But Jeffrey Simmons is 27 years old. He's 6'4", 305 pounds, can play inside and outside again. Been in the league for 6 years. He's played in 16 games last year, total of 76 tackles, 41 solo, and 5 sacks. This guy can take over games, man. The sack numbers don't show up, but he's in the backfield almost all the time. You see 98 just causing havoc. It's crazy how good this guy has gotten throughout the years. And he was drafted as a defensive tackle, but he has a lot of speed where he can bump on the outside and give you issues there. Again, like a JFM type player. But don't confuse it. Jeffrey Simmons is one of the most elite players in this league. But again, that just shows the talent of the DNs above him. All right? And there's a lot of them. Jeffrey Simmons, I was fighting myself to put him in the top 10. But honestly, I don't think it would have been justice to these other players. Now, continuing on. We get into our top 10. And at number 10, I got Josh Hines-Allen. This guy's been a solid player ever since he was drafted, and the numbers have gotten better and better for him. He's 27 years old, 6'5", 255 pounds, been in the league for 6 years now, played in 16 games last year, had 45 total tackles, 26 solo tackles, 8 sacks. He's just a monster. You see 41 takeover games as well, but there are a lot of times where he disappears, where you don't see him. And there's a lot of pieces on that Jaguars defense that can be solid, but Josh Hines-Allen needs to stand out. He does. He needs to. Those numbers are good, but I honestly think they could be a lot better. Number 9, Brian Burns. Now, if you go on the depth chart, and I will call myself out for this, it says he's a linebacker, an outside linebacker. But Burns, when you watch Giants games, he's normally just on the line, rushing the passer. He's not that great in coverage if he is a linebacker. He isn't typical edge rusher. He will destroy offensive lines coming off the edge. He's quick. He's powerful. He can attack you from anywhere. I have him ranked number 9. He's 27 years old, 6'5", 250 pounds, been in the league for 6 years, traded from the Panthers to the Giants, played in 17 games last year, had 71 total tackles, 42 solo tackles, 8.5 sacks. The guy's a monster. And now that they have Kayvon Thibodeau over there, who's supposed to be a stud, and now they got a new guy over there. Why do I always forget his name? Pass rusher. It'll come back to me, but they got a lot of pieces over there. Abdul Carter. That's what it was from the Penn State. Abdul Carter over there for the Giants is now as well. They have 3 dominant pass rushers. Kayvon Thibodeau, I think, still has a lot of upside. But Brian Burns, I think, is just so underrated. I think he's very, very good. NRS coming in. Nolan Smith. Okay. Nolan Smith is an interesting one. I see him. He's going to get his chances off the edge. I see him more as the outside linebacker type of player because he can cover as well. I know he can blitz. I know he's pretty good. But right now, he's going to be in my next linebacker stream because overall, I just really like his game. I think he's really quick. Does not hold up great against the run, though. But overall, his speed makes up for it. And he's not bad at coverage either. I think he can get better, but I think he's going to get – I think he needs to work on some things. And yes, you are right again. Eagles Super Bowl 59 champions. They are. Shout out to them. Not a big fan of their coach. Not a big fan of Sirianni, but the players you have on the team, I respect. I love Saquon Barkley. So happy that he did so well for you guys last year, and that you got him away from the Giants. One of my friends that's a Giants fan was so angry about it. So glad you guys got Saquon. I do love the pieces you have on defense as well. The safety you got from Texas, Andrew Makuba, I think is going to be a steal as well. I think he's going to be really good. Nolan Smith is a great player, Super Bowl champion. What do I not like about Sirianni? He gets the players rallied. He gets them prepared. The interaction sometimes with the fans, where you've seen him many times calling out fans or swearing at them, and then you have to have your quarterback come on over and like pull him to the side, him being like the coach, and Sirianni not acting like it. Like you have the best team in the league. Just let them prove it on the field. You don't have to talk shit. You don't have to like do that to the fans and stuff like that. They already know you're great. They already know the team's great. And I will say he is a leader getting those players ready. His offensive schemes every time he comes out is great, and he puts Jalen Hurts in the best situation to win. Interested to see that relationship between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts this year. I think they're going to be – I hope they rekindle it. But NRS, fair enough, bro. Nice stream. Sorry, got to bounce, but I'll check you out again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Make sure I appreciate you commenting. I hope you have a great rest of your night as well. And thank you so much for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you again. And then we got another one. Hot take, Aiden Hutchinson will finish his career as the greatest defensive player of all time. It would be more clear if he never got injured, but he will come back better than he was pre-injury. I'm going to talk about Aiden Hutchinson because I wanted to put him as number 1 on this list. Spoiler, but the injury did really ruin him last year. But if you see his numbers from last year and only playing in a couple games, it was so hard not to put him number 1 because I think he's going to be just so freaking good. And thank you so much for your comment, Kamal El Kadri. Thank you so much. And sorry if I butchered your name. But yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, I love that hot take, honestly. I think he definitely could. The kid's a freaking monster. So I definitely like that hot take from you. Now, continuing on, we got Brian Burns. A lot of people might be upset with this one. You could call me a homer for the Jets. I got Will McDonald. People are you might argue with it, but what he showed last year, from getting drafted in the first round by Jets fans, getting mocked from other fans about this kid being drafted, being like, who the heck is this kid? To showing out what he did his rookie year, to last year when he stepped up when Jermaine Johnson went down. The kid's got an elite pass rush move with the spin move. And he's getting stronger and stronger, and he has amazing bend and speed coming off the edge. He's 26 years old. He's been in the league for 2 years, played in 17 games last year, had 28 total tackles, 18 solo tackles, 10.5 sacks. The guy is a nightmare for a lot of tackles in this league. And I think he's going to get better and better. What he needs to work on? He needs to work on the run defense. He did get pushed off the ball a decent amount last year, but as a pass rusher, he's so freaking good. And it's just fun to watch him too. It's so graceful when you watch him. And you could call me a Jets homer having him high at 8. Definitely. You could argue all you want. But from what I've seen from him, just watching him, it was beauty to behold as a pass rusher. And I think he's going to get better and better, especially with Jermaine Johnson coming back. And if he's anything like he was, I think Derek Nottie is going to step up on that defensive line to take pressure off our edge rushers as well. And Quinn, and I think, is going to have a much better year as well. So watch out for this defensive core unit this year. I think the Jets defense is going to be better than a lot of people think. But Will McDonald, I have him ranked number 8 at this point. Number 7, I got Nick Bosa at number 7. Honestly, Bosa's good, but again, nagging injuries over these past couple of years. And the Niners have been riddled with injuries the past couple of years too, to a lot of their key players. Bosa's one of them. He's 27 years old, still really good in the pass rusher, really good as an edge rush or a run defender as well. Been in the league for 6 years, played in 14 games last year, 52 total tackles, 33 solo tackles, 9 sacks. Still putting up elite numbers, but the injuries are starting to take its toll. I don't think he's as fast coming off the edge now. I think he's trying to get that feeling back under him. Again, he's got to stop these nagging injuries in any way he can because he could. 7, fantastic player like him at number 7. It just shows how talented these guys are because he could dominate this year and get back to being number 1 as an edge rusher. But right now, number 6, I got Will Anderson Jr. from the Texans. Honestly, it really does. Thank you for the comment again. Feels like Bosa has been around forever, just like his brother, I said his name earlier. Nick, the other Bosa brother, over in Buffalo now. He was with the Chargers forever, and now he changed the team, and it looks weird him being in a different jersey, especially a Buffalo jersey. I didn't like him going over Joey Bosa. I didn't like him going over to the Bills, but man, the Bosa brothers, they've been in this league longer than a lot of people think, and it feels like just around the corner. And getting into this next guy, I don't think he's talked about enough. This is Will Anderson Jr. He's the edge rusher from Houston. This kid dominates games, and I think the system that he's been put in just allows him to be free and allows him to be him because he's in the backfield every time. And again, nagging injuries deal a lot to this kid, but he needs to work on that. He needs to get a little tougher. But he's 6'4", 243 pounds, 2 years in the pros. He's awesome, dominated his rookie year, awesome last year, had 37 total tackles, 27 solo tackles, 11 sacks. I think his numbers are just going to get better and better. I really do. I think this kid's just freaking awesome and amazing. But again, he's outside the top 5. Now, who could the players be in the top 5? Here it is. I'm excited to show you guys my number 5 defensive end is Max Crosby. I just think this guy is so awesome to see. They drafted 2 defensive ends, Khalil Farrell and Max Crosby. Now, when you hear that, based on the numbers you see, Max Crosby you think would have been their first-round pick. Oh, no. He came later in the draft. Clelin Ferrell was their first-round pick under John Gruden. He's not even on the team anymore. He's not even on the team anymore, honestly. But Max Crosby's still there kicking. Injuries hurt him again last year, and I see your comment, Bubbles in Bath, and thank you for the comment. No, I thought he was the number 1. I love the player. And again, it just shows how freaking hard it is to make this list because Max Crosby is one of my favorite players to watch. He does deal with some injuries because he is just locked on that defense, going 100 every play. So he does get banged up a good amount. But it just shows how hard this list is because I love these players. And I was bouncing back and forth like 15 minutes to go before the stream started. I was just going back and forth, moving players because I'm like, no, this guy's better. Like originally, and this is going to sound crazy, the Patriots edge rusher, Milton Williams, I originally had him ranked number 30. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, I can't because he dominated for the Eagles last year in the playoffs. And he came up in very clutch moments. So he was the underrated player on the Eagles last year, in my opinion. But now he's a Patriot, and I hate to see it. But Max Crosby, just a dominant player. I think what will help Max Crosby this year is having Christian Wilkins back, because Christian Wilkins as the interior defensive tackle with a lot of speed and a lot of pass rush ability. I know he's coming off a serious injury, but I think just giving that other focus onto Christian Wilkins and giving Max Crosby more free up ability, I think he's going to have better numbers. And if he can stay healthy the whole season, though, he's going to be a double-digit sack guy for years and years to come. And he's just fun to watch. Great guy. Great player. But Max Crosby, number 5. Number 4, I got Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, he's in a situation that I don't think helps him, because what's the one thing a lot of teams could do on that Cowboys defense last year? They ran the ball on them. The run defense for Cowboys last year was atrocious. And it sucks every time Micah Parsons, who you can see has 12 sacks, 43 total tackles, 30 solo tackles in 13 games, he's getting tackles run at him every single time and getting double teamed every single time. And it's not just like he can get a burst right away. They're running the ball on these guys because teams are getting up on the Cowboys so quick that they just run the ball. And Micah Parsons' game is he needs that defense needs to play with a lead. If they're playing with a lead, then you got Micah Parsons and Ozzie Odigizua over there just bum rushing the quarterback and getting these numbers. But right now, I think he needs to improve on his run defense. I think it's okay. It can get a lot better. I think he needs to get stronger in the upper body because I think his lower body is great and very strong and quick. I think he needs to get up more upper body strength and a better run defending game. Use his hands a lot better to shed those bigger tackles off him, which I know can be difficult. But right now, Micah Parsons is my number 4 ranked defensive end. And I hope he gets his contract soon because the Cowboys desperately need to pay him, or he's going to be the next one to go to the Commanders or the Eagles. Number 3, I got Trey Hendrickson. And I'm looking at his numbers, and honestly, these numbers are better than the next 2. Off the screen, the numbers are just better and better. He played in all 17 games last year. This guy has taken the next step, like 12 steps in his career, coming from the Saints, where he was a rotational defensive edge rusher over there, to coming to getting better and better, having a great season, to making him one of the people that people wanted to go for in the free agency. The Jets were targeting him, and it just didn't work out. To being one of the most elite pass rushers and edge defenders in the game of football. This was one of the only bright spots of the Cincinnati Bengals defense last year. And now they are having issues with contract negotiations with him. They tried to talk to him again, went south again. Trey Hendrickson is 30 years old and putting up great numbers. Very strong player. He's been in the league 8 years, 17 games played. He's durable as heck. 46 total tackles, solo tackles 33, 17 and a half sacks. And he's not the fastest person coming off that edge. He reads the ball. He just has a natural feel for the game of football and knowing when the center is going to move or twitch or what's his signal to snap the ball. He just has that natural gift. And I really think he's going to get better and better. And he could be a 20-sack season guy, honestly. They need help on that defense. But I think he's still going to be dominant. And another comment. Do you think Trey's age will start to show next year? Like, is this the last year that he's fully dominant? That's a great question. I think with his strength, because he could be slow. He reminds me of like oh God, what's his name? The guy's been in the league forever. He was a defensive tackle. I think he was recently with the Jaguars. Campbell. Elijah Campbell, I think it is. Man, he's so good. But that guy's been in the league forever, and he just got better and better as a player till I think he was almost up to like 37, 38, maybe older. Defensive end is a player or defensive position where, yes, you're making contact every play, but as long as you keep your body in good shape and keep that strength up like Trey Hendrickson has done, I think he's just getting better with age, and he's only been in the league for 8 years, which is something to say too, because other players who've been in the league for like 13 years, like a Cam Hayward, or a Josh Sweat, or people like that, or Cam Jordan. Not Josh Sweat, Cam Jordan, who's been in the league forever. They've been in the league for 13 to 14 years. Trey Hendrickson's only been in the league for 8, so I think he's got a lot more of his career left in the tank for him, and I think these numbers can still be good. That Bengals defense last year was awful. I think if they add some pieces, and they're having issues with the one they tried to add in the draft, Shamar Stewart, I honestly, I don't think his age is going to affect him this quick in his career. When he becomes 35, maybe 36, 34, maybe, I honestly think he's still going to be dominant until then. Top 5 type of defensive end. I desperately know they need to get a contract done with him. But honestly, I don't think his age is going to affect him really that much in the next coming season. I think he's still going to be a dominant player. But then we get into this next one, Aiden Hutchinson, number 2. And guys, I said it. I said that I love Aiden Hutchinson. I had him at number 1 for the longest time on this list. I really did. Because I just think overall as a player, he is much better than a lot of these players, a lot of these guys on this list. Like a step or 2 above. He's just that dominant, and I love Aiden Hutchinson. If he stayed healthy all year, look at these numbers that he has. He played in 5 games, had 19 total tackles, 12 solo tackles, 7.5 sacks in 5 games. This guy's going to give you a 2 to 3 sack game, an average of 2 to 3 sacks. The guy's just that good. Now, he's coming off a very, very serious knee injury. I think he comes back strong. I think just like Jermaine Johnson's going to come back, it might take him a little bit to get his feet wet again. But he's going to pick it up. The guy's just too freaking good. And if it wasn't for his injury, I would have him at number 1. Because in 5 games, you're telling me you got 7.5 sacks? Just how much damage were you causing these quarterbacks? Especially for your division's quarterback, the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears. Good luck, because if this guy comes back and is anything like he was or is still, in my opinion, you're in for a rough season with this guy barreling down your neck every time you play the Lions. But Aiden Hutchinson right now is my number 2 because of the injury. Leaving, as you guys guessed, probably, Myles Garrett as the number 1. Hate what he did to get the contract he got, because I think by trying to force your way out of Cleveland and then them just giving you that monster contract and you're being like, okay, I guess money does solve everything, where you were telling people you were unhappy there, that you didn't want to be in Cleveland anymore. But I digress about that. But the guy deserves his money. He's been an elite edge rusher in this league since he was drafted. He's 29 years old, 6'4", 272 pounds, been in the league for 8 years, 17 games played, 47 total tackles, 40 solo tackles, 14 sacks. Guy's amazing. Myles Garrett is a monster, and teams game plan around him specifically because they know if they don't, their quarterback can get hurt. That's the issue. Myles Garrett, you could have double team him, and he'll still get a way to get you. He'll find a way. I think he is getting older. He's a very powerful guy still. I think he still has a lot in the tank. But I think Aiden Hutchinson is going to take over as the number 1 coming sooner rather than later, because Myles Garrett is getting up there in age, still a dominant figure on that defense. But I think Aiden Hutchinson's not that far behind, honestly. And like I said, he would have been my number 1 and Myles Garrett would have been my number 2. But honestly, I think Myles Garrett still has earned the right at this point in his career to be the number 1 edge rusher, because he just dominates teams. Anybody he plays. So the Cleveland Browns got number 1 in this ranking because of Myles Garrett. And guys, those are my power rankings for my defensive ends. I really hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I love talking about these players. I try to give every position their love. I might do a couple live streams of like the left tackles in the league, left guards, centers, to give the offensive linemen some love too. But honestly, guys, thank you so much for joining me out tonight. I really appreciate having you guys out here. I saw there was up to 40 plus people in this video or in this live stream, and I appreciate you guys so much. You don't know how happy this makes me to see that you guys are enjoying the content, enjoying my videos. We're up to over 2,000 subscribers on the channel, and I can't do it without you guys. So I really, really appreciate it. I hope you loved the live stream tonight. I hope you enjoyed my picks, my power rankings. I saw some people come in with great comments. NRS, Kamel, and Bubbles and Bath. Thank you guys so much for your comments today. I love having you guys in the chat and hope you come to every live stream. I live stream every Saturday night from 9 o'clock to around 10:30. And I appreciate you guys coming out with me. And I love having you guys here. And again, thank you guys so much for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you in the next one.